It's time to get your geek on with Dave Gramillion.
Ah, yes. Welcome here. I am Dave Gramillion, and this is Get Your Geek On, powered by Southtown Games on Pleasanton Road near Loop 410 on the south side of San Antonio, where your gaming family wants to welcome you. Here we will talk Star Wars, Star Trek, DC, Marvel, video gaming, really all things geek that have dominated this little world of ours. You see, geek is not what it was 20 or 30 years ago. Geek is in. Geek is very in. Geek is now the mainstream, and we are here to talk the latest and greatest that is geek right here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer Talk Radio and 930amtheanswer.com. This is season 2, episode number 27. And tonight, oh my God, do we have news to talk about. News decided to come crashing down this weekend as never before, and this is why there is talk radio for geeks, because no one will cover it like we're going to cover it on the AM radio dial. So Star Wars The Last Jedi is finally here. All right, it's opening weekend. This is the moment we've been waiting for since 2015. Yet Rogue One was cute. That was a nice little Star Wars story. But you know what? This is the weekend we've all been waiting for since Disney pretty much bought the franchise. Speaking of which, Disney has flexed their economical muscles once again, and they have purchased Fox. They bought Fox. Now, they didn't buy everything. We're going to tell you what they did buy, what they did not buy, what remains Fox, what's Disney, and what possibilities are out there, and is there a possibility it won't happen at all. We will get into all of that at the bottom half of the hour. Quentin Tarentino wants to be in on Star Trek. God help us all. We'll talk more about that. And geeky movies were snubbed by the Golden Globes once again. We'll tell you which movies came away with a whopping goose egg for nominations. The Punisher has been renewed. We'll get into that as well. And if we get a little bit of time, we'll talk some esports there at the end. I've got some esports news I want to definitely harp on, that's for sure. But in order to have the premier talk radio show for geeks across the United States, I have a little checklist I got to go down, and I got to make sure that I have everything I need to run the show correctly. First of all, you got to have something to drink. I'm going to be talking for close to an hour. That's got to have a little something there. I don't have the back scratcher, and I don't have the sonic screwdriver tonight. That's okay, though, because I do have True Blue, my Saberforge gift of a lightsaber. Go check them out at saberforge.com. This one has retired my original lightsaber, Old Blue. This is now True Blue. And if you want to see the lightsaber, you're more than welcome to. You can see it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GYGO Radio, where we do a Facebook Live broadcast each and every week we record the show. Alrighty. So with that being said, without further ado, we got a lot of news to cover, so let's dive right into Star Wars. It's finally here.
I'm looking forward to completing your training. In time, you will call me Master.
And to help me disseminate all this news here, I do have my two prize co-hosts here. To my left, your right, as you look across the radio dial, you will see the founder, president, Grand Admiral of the Star Wars Society of San Antonio. He is Peter Gonzalez, our beloved minion.
I have my music.
Hey, there we go. Hey, how you doing there, minion?
I'm ready. It's Star Wars.
You must be. You got to be just stoked for this, man.
I've been dying for this moment, and I came dressed for the moment. Actually, I mean, normally we're like, your geeky T-shirt. I'm wearing my Han Solo, my Empire Strikes Back. This is my favorite Han Solo outfit, probably one of my favorite cosplays. Off to the side, I know you have all blue, but I got my DL-44 just right off a camera range.
That's right. That's right, man. You are decked out. You got your little Chewie there, so you're all set. You're good to go, man. This is got to be a great night for you.
This is it. It's like night of nights. I mean, this is like a big show here tonight.
Alrighty. So
really
if you look further to my left, your right, across the radio dial, you will see the man spinning the ones and zeros. You will see our sound prognosticator. He is Goose.
Hello.
Goose, how you doing there, man?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing all right. What are you rocking as your geeky apparel?
Because it's Star Wars night.
It is.
I've got my Transformers Star Wars mashup, The Last Prime.
Excellent. Very, very cool. All right, so we are rip fired and ready to go here. I not only have my Rebel Alliance ball cap on, but I am also wearing my old school 1983 Star Wars arcade T-shirt.
I like the score on that 1983.
Isn't that awesome? I love it, man. This game cost me many and a quarter. Much of my allowance was lost to this thing, but I mean, we're here, man. We are all decked out in Star Wars, and you can also find some Star Wars fun over at Laser Legend on the north side of San Antonio off a Lookout Road near I-35 and near Rolling Oaks Mall. This place has Star Wars Battle Pod, which Goose and I, we rocked the co-op. Thank you very much. It also has a number of other games, including Star Trek Pinball, Walking Dead, Jurassic Park. They've got great food specials up there, party rooms available, a 2-floor laser tag arena in which I reign supreme, and not a word out of you, sir. Not a word. And not only that, but also a 9-hole indoor miniature golf course lit up with black light. This place is fantastic. We strongly recommend. The holiday season's coming up. The kids are getting ready to be out of school. Take them over to Laser Legend. Alrighty, so we've waited 2 years. 2 long years to find out what happened to Rey, Kylo Ren, Luke, Leia, and so on. The wait is finally over. Minion, how stoked are you for this opening weekend?
Oh, I can't even believe how stoked I am right now. I'm dying for this moment. You know, because Luke's been standing there this whole time, and we're wondering what he's going to say. And personally, what I'm kind of thinking is Luke is wondering what he says to Rey is, "Did you bring any taco dana?"
Did you bring in extra batteries?
That too. So, did you bring extra salsa? You know, with that taco dana?
It is kind of hard to get some takeout out there at Octo, where that little island he's on.
Or if
not
not,
like like Papa John's goes out there or anything.
Or sending out for Chinese or something. So.
Yeah, it's real hard to get some. Yeah, I mean it's just pork meat. That's all you got out there. It's terrible.
Pork, the other white meat.
The other white meat. All right, now you can see our full spoiler-free review on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GYGO Radio. We're not going to spoil it for you, so don't worry. You can watch the review, no problem. You can even watch our review because we've seen it twice now, and we did 2 separate videos for those, so you can check those out as well. Now, when Star Wars The Last Jedi, when their first reviews came out, it was at a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, 86 on Metacritic, and 8.4 out of 10 on IMDb. Since then, The Last Jedi rose as far as 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
And then on Thursday, it sank back down to 93. So, unfortunately, for a brief period there, The Last Jedi was the highest rated Star Wars movie of all time on Rotten Tomatoes, higher than Empire Strikes Back.
That's saying a lot, because everybody always says Empire's always been the best.
Now, there are 24,000 votes that were cast. This is, again, as of Thursday. 24,000 votes cast at IMDb.com, and it went to an 8.2 out of 10. So a slight drop there as well as more and more people started to watch it. But still, an 8.2 out of 10 is an incredibly good number. So that's really solid news. And I'm hearing a lot of it's an intense movie. Again, we're not going to give you spoilers, so don't worry about turning the radio off. It's an intense movie. So many twists in this movie. Mm-hmm. So many turns in this movie. And I keep hearing that word over and over again, intense. It's an intense movie. Not necessarily a dark movie, not necessarily an overly violent movie, but an intense movie. That's what I'm hearing. Minion, what are you hearing?
I'm hearing the same thing. Luckily, Fiance got to see it opening night in Mexico City, and she said exactly the same thing. Twists, turns, stuff that you're not expecting. Jeremy Johns, that I watch every once in a while on YouTube, said the exact same thing. He was like, "Whoa, this is a whole different version of a Star Wars movie."
Yeah, I've heard people say that they cried during this film. I've heard a lot of people say that they cried during this film. I'm not spoiling. Don't worry about that. But Goose, you heard something different a little earlier, didn't you?
Well, I heard a mutual friend of yours and mine had said that he forgot to breathe for the last 15 minutes of the movie.
Well, okay, well then he'd be dead.
Well, he had to remind himself.
He had to remind himself. Okay, all right. So it's an intense film. Now, if this is true to form, then Star Wars fans will love this film for about a week. They'll adore it for maybe a couple of weeks after, and then sometime in January they'll start picking it apart.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Now, to be fair, I kind of shed a tear in 1986, Transformers the movie.
Well, yeah,
I shed a tear in 1992 at Star Trek 6 because it was the last one.
Yep, they wrote off into the sunset, second Star
Of course,
Trek.
there are people who shed a tear at the end of Star Trek 2.
Very true.
So
Yes.
all of those had intense scenes in them. So it's a matter of now that obviously we're all much older than we were then. I do have a question for those of you who were old enough to watch Empire Strikes Back when it first came out. Did you shed a tear at the end of Empire?
I was in shock at the end of Empire, because everybody left the theater with, okay, what happened? You can't end here. It's like they got to find Han. Is Vader Luke's dad?
Yeah,
and
it was
that
the what now?
Yeah, for back in the fourth grade, that's all we talked about in recess. If we weren't out playing or something like that, we'd be up there in the jungle gym thinking.
And I have a sneaky suspicion this is going to be the same way. Okay, what now?
Right.
Now, there has never been a Star Wars movie to make me cry. I cry at the Muppet movie, Muppets Take Manhattan, when they're getting married. Okay, that'll bring me down. Rudy will do that or Hoosiers will do that for me. Star Trek 2, when Spock dies. Oh, spoiler alert! when Spock dies, yes, I will shed a tear because Shatner's acting is really good there, and I'm emotionally invested. There's never been a moment in Star Wars to make me cry.
You cried because William Shatner's acting was good, didn't you?
That was one reason. Yes, that was one.
To be fair,
the girdle held.
Okay, to be fair for Force Awakens when Han got stabbed. Yeah, spoiler alert. Yeah, we know by now. Yeah. Fiance grabbed my hand so tight and was crying at the same time. I was like, yeah, I'm crying because you're squeezing the hell out of my hand, honey.
The last time I cried really good in a theater, and it doesn't happen very often because, I'm a guy. I'm just saying, we don't cry at all. The last time it happened was Anne Hathaway doing Les Mis. When she sang I Dreamed a Dream, okay, that waterworks, yeah, that definitely happened. My wife's bawling next to me the whole time. So, but Star Wars has never done it. Not at Yoda's death, not during Order 66. At no time has Star Wars ever made me cry.
Well, and some fairness there at the end of Revenge of the Sith, because there were some of the members of my club at the time who came out crying because, okay, we see the full story on Vader, and for a lot of us, we thought, this is it. This is the end.
Now,
Revenge of the Sith made a lot of us cry, but for not those
reasons. But yeah, it's finally over. Oh my God! Now the box office for the year is still 4.2% behind. Now that's about to change because we'll get the numbers in on the box office probably by Monday or so for the Star Wars: The Last Jedi. It's almost guaranteed it's going to open over $200 million.
Right.
The only question is how much more. Now, I called 220, as I recall. I think, Goose, you called 250, didn't you? Minion, what did you call?
He wasn't here.
I was freezing.
Oh, that's right. You were free.
Call your shot, buddy.
I was trying to find a tauntaun.
Yeah. All right, so call your shot. Now, you haven't seen any of the box office from Friday or Thursday.
No, I haven't seen anything.
All right, so
what did you say yours was?
I called 220. Goose called 250.
260.
260.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Normally, he's the low baller.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because I think that the anticipation for this is so high. And don't forget, this is the last time we're going to see Carrie Fisher.
That's true. That's true.
I think, when everybody said, that they're going to cry, I think maybe that's one of the reasons also is because it's her last performance.
Now, for the year, right now, Beauty and the Beast is the number one highest grossing movie at the box office. Then Wonder Woman, Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man Homecoming, and then it rounds out the top 5.
Yeah, Thor, it will be number 6.
It will be number 6. There's no question. Thor Ragnarok is 6 right now. Despicable Me 3, Logan, Fate of the Furious, Justice League finally got over the Dunkirk hurdle there. Justice League is the 10th highest grossing movie of the year. So that means that when Star Wars The Last Jedi comes out, it will be the top grossing movie of the year, which means all 5 of the top 5 highest grossing movies in 2017 will be geeky. I'm including Disney in there, so just roll with it. But that's all 5 are geeky or superhero related. That's incredible.
That says a lot, considering that we're going to have some we're going to be talking about Golden Globes and I'm pretty sure Academy Awards at some point here, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So just an incredible year at the box office for us ex-geeks, that is. So with that being said, let's move right along and let's talk a little Star Trek news here, shall we?
Yeah. If you see Klingon, it's better make sure that your face is out. And if you're in the fleet, grab your uniform, cause it's future chic. All the haters know, we got photon torpedoes. Throw the Vulcan up if you're not from Romulus and stay with me now, live long and prosperous.
Just beat me up, Scotty. Just beat me up, Scotty. Just beat me up, Scotty.
Alrighty. This is brought to you by our friends over at Southtown Games. Southtown Games is down on the south side of San Antonio off of Pleasanton and Loop 410. Every time we go over there, man, I'm just so impressed.
They are cool, man.
And we say this every week that we're so impressed, but every time I walk in, I am impressed. The staff there is very knowledgeable, friendly. They're there to help you learn a new game, take your game to the next level. Accessories, tournaments, cards, card boxes, the whole 9 yards. Southtown Games really has it all. And I think I'm just about due to head down there again to up my Dragon Ball Z game. I've gotten a couple of booster packs from there, but you can always do with a little bit more. And there's a couple of other games I'm kind of interested in as well. And I know that if I go down to Southtown Games, that I'm always going to have a good time, that I'm always going to be prepared when I walk out of the store. I'm going to feel confident that I know how to play this game. It's not going to be one of those where you walk in, buy a game, and say, well, I guess I'll try it at home, and maybe I'll like it. I don't really know. No, sir. By the time you walk out of the store, you talk to their staff, you will feel confident about your gaming abilities. That's your friend. That's our friend. That is Southtown Games. Alrighty, so we know that there's going to be a Star Trek 4. The money is there. They had Star Trek. They had Star Trek Into Darkness. Star Trek Beyond actually faltered a little bit at the box office, but still the money's there.
Yeah. Star Trek Into Darkness killed Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's pretty true. However, now Quentin Tarentino wants in on Star Trek. I don't know about that one.
Take it away, Goose. And
I have something to say to that.
Yeah,
Please, that's what we're all thinking.
Yes, please. What is that?
Good God in heaven, Ruby, there are just so very many ways for me to say this to you. Never, not in a million years, absolutely not. No way, Jose, no chance, Lance, and yet, negatory, nah, and of course my own personal favorite of all time, man falling off of a cliff. No!
Wholeheartedly agree.
Dr. Cox?
Absolutely. Now, don't get me wrong. Quentin Tarantino has put out some fine movies. Like many directors, a couple of duds. He's not M. Night, thank God. But I just, I'm not sure about this. Now, this has come out. I could cite a number of sources where I got this on my stack of stuff here, but it's official that J.J. Abrams is allegedly drafting up a writer's room with Quentin Tarantino to help bring a new movie to life. A new report that came out this week claims that Tarantino's Trek would boldly go where no Star Trek movies have gone before.
Right.
And that would be an R-rated film.
No.
An R-rated... Oh, but Star Wars fans are dying for an R-rated film, aren't they?
No.
Well, that's what I'm hearing, is that they would just love an R-rated film. And after all, Deadpool was R-rated.
Deadpool is a whole different type of character.
Doesn't making it R-rated automatically make it better?
Okay, go ahead, Goose.
Can I inject a little professional wrestling into this just for a second?
Please
because
do.
I'm gonna.
Okay, everybody right now says they want Sting versus Undertaker.
Okay.
Until they actually think about that both men are in their 50s and who wins in that scenario, Sting or Undertaker? Do you want the returning Sting to lose his big match with Taker, or do you want Taker, the legend, to lose, the WWE stalwart, to lose against the WCW person?
Yes.
It's great in theory, but then you have to understand the machinations of putting it together. An R Star Wars movie, like an R Star Trek movie, you automatically kill. Bad term there. You automatically limit your audience.
That's true.
Just by the fact it's an R rating, you limit your audience. One, because kids can't get in on their own, and two, self-respecting parents won't bring their kids.
Now, here's the thing: is that there are rumors that it could be R-rated, but here's something that lends a little credence to it. Screenwriter Mark Smith is the front runner to start writing the script. So who's Mark Smith? He's the guy who wrote up The Revenant.
Wasn't he the 10th Doctor?
That's
11th
Matt,
Doctor?
Matt Smith.
Okay.
But yeah, he wrote up The Revenant, and that was very, very much R-rated. So here's the thing, though, is that now all of a sudden the media is citing precedent because Star Trek Discovery, which we're going to call it DSC instead of that other acronym, which actually would make more sense. DSC dropped the F-bomb twice. And it was same episode, wasn't it?
It was actually within about 15 seconds.
About 15 seconds.
But it was contextually, when you look at the contextual aspect of what happened, it makes sense. And that's my thing. Deadpool, R rating, makes complete sense.
Sure.
Exactly.
Logan,
That's his character.
R rating, makes complete sense.
Yep.
Star Trek, though, with the exception of 2 times in Discovery that I would say put an MA on it, but outside of those 2 instances, and then I'm taking the F-bombs as 1 instance total. Discovery, I'm okay with kids watching it, except for those 2, except for an instance that happened in the mid-season finale, and that we'll talk about when you watch it.
Okay. So does this mean now that Kirk's dad is officially off the project? In Star Trek 4, the early rumors were that somehow Kirk's dad, who was killed in the first movie, allegedly, would be coming back in some way, shape, or form for the 4th movie. The only problem I have with that is that it was Chris Hemsworth who played Kirk's dad in the first movie, and now he is like 4 times the size he was because he's Thor. The guy beefed up big time. You can't slim back down to Kirk's dad. I wouldn't.
Not without throwing off your metabolism.
Yeah, exactly. Not without your body just screaming, "What in God's name are you doing?" So I'm not sure how that would have gone anyway. And to be honest, the whole idea sounded really bad to begin with.
Well, my take on this is that, okay, Trek has a certain philosophy. There's a certain way of how you a certain way how you do a show, how you do a movie. There's a certain vision behind it. Roddenberry's vision, and even what they were doing with Next Gen and everything else. And to throw Tarantino, don't get me wrong, he's a talented director, but I just don't think this would work for him. I don't see how this would work because take something like Pulp Fiction, which was very noir, very dark, and a lot of his stuff is very dark and overly violent. I don't see how that would work in a Trek movie.
I think it would work. I think he would do a good standalone movie if he did a movie on Section 31.
Yes.
Now, we've talked about Section 31 before. That is the underground, the SS, the NSA of Starfleet.
It's the MI6 and CIA of Starfleet.
There you go. So I could see if he wanted to go that route, Section 31 versus the Tal Shiar of the Romulan Empire, I could see that being rated R, no problem. But as Billy Ross points out in our chat, he would actually be better suited at writing pirate movies because all pirate movies should be rated R.
That and plus also,
Thank you, Billy.
I don't see Spock coming out and saying, "Bring out the GIMP."
Yeah, I don't see that either.
Let's agree, Tarantino does what he does, and he does it very well.
He does.
For that particular segment of society, that particular genre of movie, he does really well at it. And I'm more than happy to let him continue doing what he does well. Same thing with M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan does one thing relatively decently. I don't know. I heard Split was really good.
God, sorry. I just had visions of Avatar: The Last Airbender in my head and just... Oh, okay. All right, I'm good now.
Okay. Well, anyway, he does it relatively decently, and I heard Split was really good, and I'm looking forward to Glass.
Oh, God. Oh, Lady in the Water. Oh!
Unbreakable.
Oh, I just remembered
The Sixth
that.
Sense.
Okay, hang on.
Hey, Signs was good.
Signs was good. I enjoyed Signs.
Oh, God. There's the villain. Oh, The Happening. Oh, I need more. Okay. There is a potion you can drink to make you forget all of this.
Yeah, it's called IAK powder.
It's called bleach.
Oh, bleach. Okay.
Just drink that potion right down and you're good. So, oh my goodness. I'm actually not. I'm okay with the idea of Quentin Tarantino directing a Star Trek movie, provided it's in the right context. We think of Star Trek movies as Kirk on the bridge, Picard on the bridge, and that's just how it is. You think Star Trek, you get an image in your mind. If he completely turned this on its head and did something that was Star Trek, but not traditional Trek, I could absolutely see Tarantino doing something. He'd be the man for the job because who does untraditional movies better than Tarantino?
That's very true.
I can't think of a single, even M. Night at his height, did not do unconventional, untraditional movies like Tarantino.
Which 2 movies in was his height, by the way.
Yeah, it was exactly 2 movies, and then downhill from there. All right, coming up after the bottom of the hour news break, oh my goodness, Disney and Fox. We are going to talk about that in tremendous detail. Don't go anywhere. Stay right here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer and 930amtheanswer.com. All righty, and we are back from the bottom of the hour news break. My name is Dave Gramillion. This is Get Your Geek On 9:30 a.m. The Answer Talk Radio, powered by Southtown Games on Pleasanton Road near Loop 410 on the south side of San Antonio, where your gaming family wants to welcome you. If you missed the first half of the show, we talked some Star Wars news because, hello, it is opening weekend for The Last Jedi. And we talked some Star Trek news because Quentin Tarentino wants to be a director of a film. Yeah, not quite sold on that one. In the right context, perhaps, but that's kind of a long shot, at least on our end here. Want to get into a little bit of show news. This was some late-breaking news that came for the show on Thursday. We got word that our humble little show in our comfy confines here at the 9:30 a.m. studio, we'll call this the 9:30 a.m. Hall of Justice. I like that. That's pretty cool. We got nominated for 2 categories in the Best of City Awards from San Antonio Magazine. We've been nominated. Every show that we do gets archived to our podcast. So we got nominated for Best Podcast. Very cool. And then I got nominated for Best Radio Personality for the city of San Antonio. How stinking cool is that? Wow. That's pretty awesome. I'm digging that.
The perfect song.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thanks to y'all.
We are very humbled to be nominated. That is outstanding. Looking forward to bringing home the gold, bringing home the trophy. That would be awesome. It would say a lot about the geeky culture in San Antonio that the geeky talk radio show was able to beat out the other mainstream shows.
So is there a place where people can go to vote, David?
As a matter of fact, there is. If you go to facebook.com/GYGO Radio, you'll see a post that we made that gives you links to go vote for these particular categories. You can also go to the San Antonio Magazine website. You'll see Best Of, and you can just vote over there as well.
Now, is this limited to San Antonio residents only?
It is not. As a matter of fact, anybody who is hearing the dulcet tones of my golden voice here behind the microphone can vote, and we encourage you to vote. Why not?
Hold on.
We could really turn the world on its head here.
Do we want to vote like Republicans or like Democrats?
Well, let's see. Democrats vote early and often. And, okay, let's go with Democrats. So it's so go ahead and head over to their website.
Vote.
Check out our page here, facebook.com/GYGO Radio. By the way, still on a crusade to hit 10,000 likes before the end of the year. If that happens, I'm taking a pie to the face at PAX South. Minion is going to be wearing the Episode 4 Leia outfit complete with hair buns. Goose is going to be wearing My Little Pony sunglasses along with Legion M temporary tattoos. It will all take place at PAX South, so please mash the like button on our Facebook page and vote for us for Best of San Antonio.
My media pass got approved, so it's on.
Mine too.
Outstanding. Very good. So we are set to go there. I'm stoked about that. It is awesome. However, what is not awesome is the news that came down from the Golden Globes.
Oh, Lord.
Now, let me just say this, okay? Geeky shows have never really gotten a lot of awards. Star Wars didn't get Best Picture. It lost to Annie Hall. You know, Star Trek doesn't get a lot of Academy Awards outside of the technical stuff.
Patrick Stewart was robbed for The Inner Light.
Patrick Stewart was robbed. I mean, even the Emmys are not big fans of us. And we've been okay with that. However, remember we talked in the first half of the hour how all 5 highest grossing movies this year will be geeky related. And something like 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. So the Golden Globes nominations come out, and Logan, Despicable Me 3, War for Planet of the Apes, Wonder Woman, and Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast all got the same number of nominations, and that's 0. Goose egg. Nothing.
Hey.
Nada. Zip.
No offense to you.
No
guys.
offense to me, right?
Oh, well, that's true. You didn't lay the egg.
No, I did
So
not.
you're fine there. But 0 nominations, and that includes, like, Best Original Song. How did Beauty and the Beast miss out on a nomination? Not
Because most of those
winning.
are from the 90s.
Yeah, but no. But they shoehorned in a bunch of
They
new
did.
songs.
How did Wonder Woman not get Best Director or Best Actress?
Yeah,
or-
Patty Jenkins got
Exactly.
missed out. War for Planet. Despicable Me 3 did not get a nomination for Best Animated Movie.
It wasn't that
It
great
wasn't?
a movie.
Well, the funny
But
thing,
not even a nom.
the funny thing is we get close to Academy Awards. You'll probably see the same thing. I mean, this goes all the way back to King Kong. It didn't even. I don't even think it won back then.
That- well,
or
that-
was it even nominated? But it's even then, Star Wars always got snubbed. Close Encounters. The only time that I think that where this wasn't the case is when they did Return of the King, where
Yeah.
it swept the categories. But I think that's because the Academy acknowledged
They
that this was
finally said, "Okay,
because it was an
fine, here you go."
18-month shoot, and the production and the dedication of the cast and crew for something like this.
But let me run by that again real quickly before we move on and talk Disney and Fox. Logan, Despicable Me 3, War for Planet of the Apes, Wonder Woman, Beauty and the Beast combined got 0 nominations.
What was the second to last movie you said?
That would be Wonder Woman. Yeah, don't need Best Original Song. No way. Not Best Director for Patty Jenkins. Oh, no.
Oh, if there had actually been an actual song in Wonder Woman, that would have been amazing.
Oh, that would have been fun. So, alrighty. So, we don't need the awards, but still, it would have been nice to at least get nominated.
We should do our own version of the Academy Awards in this show.
We do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
We did it last year.
In fact,
We should do it again.
I'll be doing the power rankings coming up here not too long. So
if we
that's
do
good
that,
news.
I think all of us should wear tuxedos for that show.
All right.
No.
So with that being
Suits maybe, but not tuxedos.
Or the tuxedo T-shirt at least.
So
Oh,
with that
okay,
being
okay.
said, we do have a little bit of Marvel news I want to get to before we dig in deep on this Marvel Star Wars Fox deal. Let's talk some Marvel news.
This is that sequel to the smash hit no equal. This one's for the true fans with Hulk hands and action figures. Flying, dining, saving you all.
This is brought to you by our friends over at Pro Defense Pest Control. Just because the weather's getting freaky, just because it's snowing on Galveston Island, it's snowing in the valley, that does not mean that the little critters out there, little creepy crawlies, are just going to go away. They're going to seek warmth, they're going to seek refuge, and that is going to be in your home. Do not let that happen. Seek out our friends over at Pro Defense Pest Control. Ask for their free termite estimate. Free, 100% free termite estimate from our friends over at Pro Defense Pest Control. So The Punisher has been renewed officially for season 2. That didn't take long. John Bernthal told Variety that he'd actually resisted signing on for the show, but he was convinced after he did the character in Daredevil.
The great thing about that, when you see him in Daredevil, that entire scene where he's got him chained up to the rooftop, that was intense.
That was great.
Because I loved how how Daredevil sees things and how the Punisher sees things, and it was just yin and yang. It was just perfect.
It was very,
they
very well
nailed the
written.
characters.
Now, the media, especially the elitist New England media, those types, they've slammed this as bad timing because we had the Sutherland Springs shootings and the Vegas shootings, and it's being called ultra-violent, yada, yada, yada.
Oh,
but the fans
please.
love it.
But that's who the character is. He's called the Punisher for a reason. You're not going to get a slap on the wrist. You're going to get a shotgun to the mouth. It's the Punisher.
Yeah, and I don't see anyone slamming the Avengers movies for causing destruction in New York City.
The Avengers have caused much more destruction
Yeah,
than
so
the Punisher.
So I can kind of see their point, but look, guys, it's the way it is. That's who the Punisher is. So just suck it up. It's a well-written show, also. So just kind of deal with that.
You go against the Punisher, you're lucky if you come out alive.
Also, Jessica Jones, its season 2 has been announced. It will start March 8th, 2018.
I love that series.
Jessica Jones season 2 officially March 8th, 2018. And then Marvel Comics has stuck its foot in its mouth again.
Uh-oh.
Yes, there will be a 3-book series involving Loki, which
Okay.
is great character, that very well written. And Marvel Comics author Mackenzie Lee tweeted out that in the new series, quote, Loki is a canonically pansexual and gender fluid character.
I so much want to play the thing I played earlier, but I think that once per show is plenty.
Look, let me put it this way. Okay, I have nothing against the LGBTQIA plus I think I got them all. Community. I got nothing against them. But why can't they have their own characters? Why do they have to alter, change, rewrite already existing characters with decades of history? Why can't they have someone that they can point to and say, that's our character? I don't understand that.
Well, devil's advocate here. Given Loki's being the trickster and everything, I could kind of see where they could be going with this. I could understand in a certain way. I mean, is this going to be like a one-shot thing, or is this going to be,
This is canon. This is who Loki is.
This is a 3-book young adult novel series.
I could kind of see why they would figure that for Loki, because he's omnipotent and he's a god, basically. But I could kind of see where they're going, just as long as it's not overly done. And because at the same time, isn't Deadpool semi-pansexual?
In somewhat of a joking manner, I think.
So based on that tweet, I think overly done is going to be an understatement.
You think? Just a little bit?
I wonder how Tom Hiddleston feels about this.
Now, I will say there is a story that was written in the 1400s that spoke to certain elements of Loki's character, but there's a difference between the mythology and the Marvel character. And yes, Loki has hit on different genders. He has actually appeared as different genders. That's not a problem with that, because it was done within the machinations of his plot. But when he is neutral, he is a male.
That is his form, in fact. So again, I have no problem with the community. And I have no problem with progressive nature in our social structure. I just wish they had their own characters. I wish they could point to someone and say, from day one, this is who that person is. This is who this person represents to us. Instead of Marvel saying, just make Loki gay. There.
Do you think that's what they did? They just basically drew a name out of the hat.
Well,
it's Loki.
Well, look at Marvel's history just in this year. I mean, they have gone to the social justice warrior route to the extreme. And in some ways, I applaud them for trying. But I just think it would be better off if they were original characters.
I mean, I can see your point. I mean, you don't want to make a character gay or transsexual, pansexual just for the sake of it. I mean, do it for the narrative.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because wasn't Kyle Rayner from Green Lantern, didn't they say he was gay?
No.
He wasn't?
He had a girlfriend when he first started the gay. Major Force actually put his girlfriend in a refrigerator.
Okay.
Now, speaking of Marvel Comics, September closed out the worst quarter year over year in nearly a decade and a half for comic sales. It was down 16%.
And Elias, that's majority of that is Marvel's descent.
I would imagine.
Right.
I would imagine.
Because DC's been kicking booty.
That's true. They've come out
because you were showing me the Rebirth stuff over
the Rebirth stuff and the metal stuff, and they just started Doomsday Clock. I mean, they're kicking booty.
Alrighty. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to what has to be the biggest topic of the year, maybe since 2012. And we are going to be talking about Star Wars, Marvel, Disney, and now Fox.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, airplanes. Duckburg, nights are a mystery.
Which one should I be dancing to?
It's kind of funny. When I wrote Disney theme in the notes, that was not exactly what I had in mind, but I'm kind of digging it.
You said Marvel and Fox, and so hang on, I got one more here. If we're going to do a little mashup, let's do a little mashup, shall we?
Yes, buddy.
I was expecting the 20th Century Fox theme. But
buddy.
Well, when you think Fox and Marvel, this is what you think.
Right. Outstanding. And I do apologize. I do have a bit of a tickle in my throat. It's been getting worse over the course of this week. I'm hoping it doesn't last too much longer, so I apologize if I cough a little bit there. So on Thursday morning, right at around 7 a.m. East Coast time, so while everyone on the West Coast was snoozing, and most of the people in the Central time zone as well, and Mountain were snoozing, this deal came out. Disney has confirmed they are going to buy pieces of the Fox empire. They're not buying the whole thing. Don't freak out, but let's break it down here. The deal, includes Disney taking on Fox's debt. That comes to a grand total of $66 billion. So you could literally say that Disney ordered 66.
Oh, Lord.
Bum.
You could literally say that. $66 billion deal. Or to put it another way, Apple could do that 3 times.
The company Apple.
The company Apple, yes, not an actual Apple. So what does Disney get other than all the debt that Fox has accrued? Disney gets the 20th Century Fox movie studio. They get 22 regional sports channels. Think about that. These are the guys who run ESPN.
So Fox Sports Southwest.
Exactly. Fox Sports Great Lakes and Fox Sports this, that, and the other. They get the FX channel. They get the National Geographic channel. They get international operations, including a paid TV service in India. And I looked into this. That thing is growing like crazy.
So how much you want to bet National Geographic will be called Disney Nature now?
I can see that. Or the Disney Animal Kingdom. I can see that. They also get thousands of movie, television titles, including, hang on to your hats, this is where it gets interesting. Avatar, Deadpool, X-Men, The Simpsons, Family Guy, This Is Us, The Mary Tyler Moore Show, MASH, The Wonder Years, Wall Street, not like, the documentary or a business show, Wall Street as in Michael Douglas.
As in Greed is Good.
As in, yes, Charlie Sheen and Daryl Hannah. That's right, that's who that was. Wall Street the movie, Home Alone, The Sound of Music, and Firefly.
Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stand.
Yes, indeed. Disney now owns Firefly.
Yeah, they're going to probably do just about as much with it as Fox has done.
I'm just saying, Disney has dealt with Joss Whedon before.
So has Fox on multiple occasions, and they didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, but now look where Fox is. They're selling to Disney,
Yeah.
So Disney could take that and run with it. So let me run down that list real quick again: Avatar, Deadpool, X-Men, The Simpsons, Family Guy, This Is Us, Mary Tyler Moore Show, MASH, The Wonder Years, Wall Street, Home Alone, Sound of Music, and Firefly. Now all Disney properties.
Fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls. She's like Robin to my bat.
Exactly. So now that is a Disney property. So does this mean that we will finally get a really good X-Men movie? Well, we've had some already, but it's a possibility. Can we have now finally a good Fantastic Four movie?
The first one wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Just the other two after that were horrible.
It's a possibility now. This also eliminates one of only 6 major Hollywood film studios. So now there are only 5. Disney will have control over roughly 40% of the domestic box office.
So is Disney thinking movie studios is like Highlander?
There can be only one.
And,
it's entirely possible.
Well, and when you kill one, you get it all its power.
Wow.
I could just see Disney just taking out 20th Century Fox in some parking garage at this point.
And they hold up the
With
sword.
The katana.
The katana.
That was what that lightning storm was over Orlando yesterday.
That's what happened.
That's what happened. That's exact. Bob Iger held the sword aloft, and that's exactly what happened.
He said, by the power of Great Skull.
By the power, I have the power.
I like what Eve Sosa says. Deadpool is going to be censored wearing Mickey Mouse ears.
There's a lot of people that think that Disney can't do R-rated. But let me tell you something, okay? Disney will let Marvel do whatever they want.
Have you not seen any Touchstone movies?
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess you missed Pulp Fiction.
Touchstone did that, right?
Miramax.
Miramax.
But it was owned by Disney.
Yeah, but Touchstone was Disney's, kind of like Armageddon was Touchstone. It was still Disney.
So
let's not talk about Armageddon.
Armageddon was a good movie. It wasn't a great film. It was a good movie.
Now, Fox still holds on to the following: Fox News, Fox Sports 1 and 2 channels, newspapers like the Wall Street Journal and the New York Post. So they're keeping their news division. They're only selling the entertainment division to Disney.
Where does that put the original trilogy, though?
That is the interesting question that I was about to get to. Because it is entirely possible that now we could get the unaltered original trilogy
I thought Lucas burned all of that.
No, that was the holiday special. He burned those. But here's the thing, though. It's entirely possible. Now, it would take a lot of restoration work because those negatives are
for 40 years
they're 40
And the
years
special
old.
effects would be interesting to try to upscale.
Yeah, so you'd have to get that up to Blu-ray quality. But here's the thing, though, is that it is possible that in 2020, give them a couple of years, but in 2020, we could get a 9-movie box set on Blu-ray of all the Star Wars films to date. Well, now be 10. You're right, a 10-movie box set. That's right, Han Solo anthology.
Right, and Rogue One, your favorite
Rogue
movie.
One, yeah. We could get a multi-movie box set with all the Star Wars movies to date on one collection, including the unaltered original trilogy movies.
Let's see. By the time Episode 9 comes out, that'll come out in 2019.
So,
So in 2020, we'd have an 11-movie set.
maybe 12.
Just
Well, no,
another-
in time for the holidays of 2020, it'd be 11.
Okay, so 11-movie set. How much would you pay for
Oh,
an 11-movie
gosh.
set, all the Star Wars movies, including the unaltered original trilogy?
I'd pay more if they took Rogue One and Han Solo out.
Wow.
You need
Those
something-
bring down the value a little
Well,
bit.
Wow.
You could use that as a coaster, okay? But you know,
Oh, like my Star Trek 5 Blu-ray?
right, you know, but
or the Attack of the Clones Blu-ray. That's your
Oh,
Frisbee.
There you go. Something for the dog to play with. but you know, it's just another excuse to like own movie. How many versions of this movie do I own? The original letterboxed version from like 97.
The 80s.
I only have one, okay? I refuse to get the Blu-ray movies. I'm not getting the Blu-rays.
No,
No.
Well,
Nope, not going to do it.
I
don't.
think I still have possibly the special edition VHSs somewhere.
I have the DVD set that has the unaltered and the altered in the same box.
no holiday special in there, right?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
No. I am not a sadist. It does not work that way.
See, Pete, I don't know why you constantly want to.
Stir, whip, whip.
That's what you do all the time.
Why not?
Looking for something to throw, but instead I'm just
You don't
gonna
want to throw that
Well,
one.
you need to have it needs
I-
to be a red Kylo Ren saber.
Kylo
Kylo
Ren
stab
saber.
me with that.
Oh my God.
But
But
it's-
seriously, how much would you pay for that?
Gosh, That's
$300.
well over. That's well over 100 right there. I'm not exactly sure
No,
how
it'd be
much.
about $300.
I figure
minimum.
300.
Jeez.
If you figure $30 a movie, all right.
But yeah, if you
Well,
But-
no, because
but-
then you have the unaltered version, which ups the value. You have the altered version, which ups it, and you
Plus
have all
your-
the behind-the-scenes stuff.
all your bonus features and stuff.
Because like the 30-movie DC set on Blu-ray is $300.
Then, and of course, don't forget the set where they make George Lucas cry because he sold off the franchise and probably shouldn't have. So they got to make him cry for that. So
No,
you
he's-
can-
He
you
cried
can-
all the way to the bank,
you
and then
can-
he realized what
how
it was.
much did he get out of
$4
that?
billion.
He ain't missing it.
To be fair, that is $2 billion in cash and $2 billion in stocks that he still holds.
How much you want to bet that $2 billion in Disney stock is worth about $4 billion right now?
That's about right. Yeah, that's
Right.
yeah. He's pretty much.
He's happy. He said his great grandchildren are set.
And how does that work anyway? Did they just like back a truck full of money up to his?
It's all done electronic. They paid him in Bitcoin.
There you go. Speaking of which,
But did they take Republic credits?
the day that they announced the deal between Disney and Fox, Disney stock shot up almost 3%. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, 3%, but guys, they're trading at 110 and a half. 3% is a lot for those guys. Just to keep that in mind. Now, one other thing I want to mention before we move on quickly to our last topic here. This is not a done deal.
No.
This is not a done deal. This has to go through government regulators and the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, and they have to determine if the deal is valid or if it's too much of monopolizing, which is entirely possible that they could nix the deal,
Which the government worried about monopoly just is laughable to me.
especially after net neutrality. Yeah, I can. Yeah,
Okay,
I can see that.
but the elephant in the room here, everybody's still wondering is like, are we going to incorporate X-Men and Fantastic Four into the MCU?
Well, if the deal goes through, then that's a possibility, but the deal has to go through first.
You know what this really does? This makes the Disney streaming app the app to have if they incorporate all these titles in there. Can you imagine having MASH and Deadpool on your app?
Oh, Lord.
Holy cow, that'd be awesome. All right, so really quick. Also, one last
Ooh,
fact
you think
is
they're
that
gonna have to tune down Family Guy.
Bob Iger. No, they're not going to do that. Bob Iger, by the way, is now going to stay on as Disney's CEO through, I believe it was 2021 now. It was rumored he was going to step down. I've heard that rumor since 2015, and he's sticking around, folks. There's no way. Under his reign, since 2005, they acquired Pixar 2006, Marvel in 2009, Lucasfilm in 2012, and 2017, now it's Fox.
Someone's having a good Christmas this year.
So really quickly, let's wrap this up by talking a little bit of video game news. Now, for those of y'all who are new to the show, welcome here. For those of y'all who are not new to the show, you've heard me harp about the hype of esports for quite a while. We've said this year that esports was supposed to hit $1 billion in revenue by 2018. I was wrong. I was very much wrong, and I apologize for that. A new report from digital research firm Superdata says that the worldwide esports market will hit $1.5 billion this year. And fully half of that comes by the way of investments from high-profile sports organizations and brands like the Cleveland Cavaliers, Washington Wizards, Indianapolis Pacers, and so on and so forth. So that's going to wrap it up here. If you want to tweet at us, you can find us at GYGO_official. You can shoot me an email at davethehost@getyourgeekon.org. For Goose, for Minion, and for myself, I want to thank our sponsors, Southtown Games, Laser Legend, Pro Defense Pest Control, and The Mailing Spot. Thanks for listening. Be excellent to each other, and make sure to get your geek on every single day. Good night, everybody.